Welcome. This is the 15th episode of the Sparkle Experience Show. And I'm so happy that we're here tonight and that you're here tonight to talk about relationships. That's what we're going to be covering tonight. I'm Michelle Holong, host of the Sparkle Experience Show, the real Sparkle Diva, Radiant Empowered Aligned Leader Diva. And here is Jeremy Gall.
Your chief technologist.
That's right. So happy to see you here. And what we're here to do is to share with viewers ways of looking at things differently, things to do with tech, with health, with wealth. And it's based on our experiences, our expertise, our knowledge, as well as guests that we interview from time to time on the show. And from when we started back in August to now, there's been a host of really brilliant people who've been on here.
Yep.
And one of the reasons why we combined tech with health is that I think a lot of times the technology that we have to deal with today, it really impacts us by putting us off our game, getting us really frazzled. Is that what your experience is, Jeremy? You deal with this every day.
Yeah, people get really frazzled with technology, especially when things are going wrong or they don't understand what's happening, and they just get stuck and can't move forward. That's where we get to the point where we can actually learn and not be afraid of technology. And that really helps with that aspect.
Yeah, and so one of the things too is I bring a special gift of energy to the table, and it's something that I wasn't necessarily aware of when in my younger years. It was only after a ski accident that I realized, after I started learning about all these energy, quantum energy, healing modalities, alternate healing, that people were telling me that I had a different, a special gift, a different way of connecting. And so tonight we are going to talk about relationships from the perspective of a download I got when I was working with images, and I have now 2 decks of cards that are available. This one I'm taking pre-orders for because simply because I ran out, they all got sold off. So the cards I'm talking about are this, what you see here, which is a set of 55 cards, and it's not very clear what they are. However, there's 5 series of cards in this deck. It's Sparkle Your Finances, Sparkle Your Sales, Sparkle Your Health, Sparkle Your Year, and then Sparkle Your Relationships. If I read out to you, oh yes, there's that other deck that Jeremy has, and that's a 45 deck of Sparkle, Feel Good Sparkle cards. Those are a bit more basic. They're for everyday use. And the first person who actually I shared that with, or actually who bought the deck, was a lady who I met at a conference, Sally Friedman. She is an author of, and I met her back 2014 or 15. And what happened is she has a seeing eye dog, and she was at the table when I was showing the cards around because it was a prototype deck. And I said to the people, she said, "Can I see what you're looking at, please?" And I went, and everybody kind of looked at her because she was using Braille and everything. And I said, "Certainly, it's my deck of Sparkle cards, and they are, energy infused." And she says, "Could I see one, please?" So I put one in her hand, and she says, "Oh, that's nice." And then I put another one. She says, "I really like that one." And everybody at the table, the other 6 ladies, were looking at her. And then I put that third one in her hands, and she went, "I really like that one too." So and they started to get the proceedings going for the conference. And I said, well, I'm taking orders because I have a prototype, it's a prototype. She says, I'll order a deck of those then, right? And so she got a deck of those. And when I called her up after a month, I asked her, have you opened it yet? No. I said, okay, do me a favor, take them out of the box and put them around you. A month later, I got an email that said, I did what you said, and it works. So I said, could you explain a little bit? And what she wrote back was, she said, when she put the cards around her home, it made her home feel lighter and brighter. And she says, every card has its own energy, and it's fun and meaningful to experiment with them. So she took them out and just put them up around, her space. And so these other ones that I'm holding here, these are the Sparkle Wishes cards, or Line of Truth, what I renamed them to that. And what I have here is this one. If we look at that, this is called Respect and Consideration. This is from the Relationship series. Then there is Appreciated and Valued, Sparkle Your Relationships. There is Loving Connections, Beautiful Synchronicities, Congruent Goals, Soulmate, Grow Together, Safe and Secure. No, it's not gonna fit unless I pull it up here. Let's see, Safe and Secure. And then there is Safe and Supported is the next one. Let me fix that here. And Treasured Moments. If you think about those words on there, if you have all of these 10 things, what I got from that is, if you had all these 10 things, that means you would have really good relationships. I think I've covered this with you before, Jeremy. What's your take on it?
Yeah, that would be true.
Right? So tonight I thought we would talk about, these cards, and I wanted to start out with safe and secure. How does that affect your ability to be productive, to be at your best performance if you're safe and supported in your relationships? Is that something that is important? And I would fathom a guess that you would say yes, because support is the thing that keeps us moving forward. It gives us that encouragement. Yes. So this one, Safe and Supported, some of my clients have said it reminds them of an angel, right? They have the energy in them. Okay. This one now, the Safe and Supported is actually this one here. And then Safe and Secure, if you're secure in feeling that, your environment, your home, your workplace, you're feeling really good about being there, then that also helps you to perform at your best. With your technology, again, safe and secure, Jeremy talks about protection. So your accounts aren't stolen, or your passwords, you have to have strong passwords to secure your accounts. So if it goes into the technology, even feeling secure when you're out in the parking lot or around your neighborhood, then comes treasured moments. And the reason why treasured moments, that also feeds the soul. It makes you feel, when you're having those treasured moments, it lights you up. It brings smiles to your lips. And not only that, when you have those treasured moments, part of that is to actually celebrate them, to be thankful, to give thanks to Creator, to Source, to whoever it is who is bringing you the love and the caring. And that also, if you think about the law of attraction, when you are thinking about and giving thanks and celebrating, it invites more blessings into your life. It really does. The next one we have here is beautiful synchronicities. So when you're engaging the law of attraction, then you will see that there's more beautiful synchronicities, things that just seem to fall into place. You get into flow in your life. And it just seems everything becomes more easier. Here we have now congruent goals in your relationships, in your work, alignment at work, in the things in the goals you set with your people, with your family, you know, the excursions, the vacations, anything of that nature. When you have congruent goals, then everything will start to move together, because that energy with a heart engaged actually starts things moving very fast in the direction you want it to go in. Would you agree with that, Jeremy?
Yeah.
Yeah. When you have the same shared goals, the same dreams, things seem to come together faster and with more joy and with more fun and with more ease. So what is it that you can do to actually open up that discussion as to how congruent, how aligned are you with the goals, with your family, with your in your workplace, with actually the job you're doing? Is it aligned with what it is you want to achieve in your life, to feel fulfilled on a day-to-day basis? And that is kind of the idea of this card. And then we come to loving connections. I mean, again, loving connections. It can be at work, it can be at home, can be in your extended community, extended family. Having that love, feeling that gratitude and all those things, it opens up more possibilities.
Right.
Here now, the thing with it that I think is at the crux of everything is respect and consideration. Having respect and consideration for others around you, and you know, others having respect and consideration for you too as well. So that is another biggie. Here we have now appreciated and valued. So making sense so far?
Yeah.
Yeah, because it all leads to that. Once you have respect and consideration, then also that is you showing appreciation and showing that you value people in your life, what they're doing for you, with you, and how they're doing things, what it is that you're gaining, and showing that honest and sincere of giving them feedback. Because doesn't that make you feel good when someone says to you, thank you so much, that really made my day. Jeremy, thank you so much because you helped me so much yesterday, actually.
Yeah, quite a lot.
Right? Yesterday it was a brutal day because I had a computer meltdown, and Jeremy, you were so great. So I appreciate you. Um and at the same time we value each other, right? Because I think yesterday you had a backache and you didn't call it a backache.
Uh, Pain.
You had a pain in the shoulder blade.
Yeah.
And by the end of the call, I think it was down from a 7 to a 2. And how is it today, by the way?
Uh, 3 or 4.
3 or 4. It went back up.
Yeah. When I woke up, it was pretty bad.
Oh no. Okay, so maybe we can do that in the middle of the show today. So now we come to sparkle your relationships overall, and that's a card for that. And then we have grow together. That's a nice thing, eh? If you meet people in your life who you can grow with and you share common interests, and then you have your partner and your people at work who you, and your family, especially your kids, if you can grow together, isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
So these have the energy of that, and people carry them around because it makes a difference. And here is soulmate. So that's the last one of that set. So thoughts or anything to you, questions that you might have on that? What do you think our viewers might be having questions on with regards to these?
How would you use them? Do you just deal them out into a pattern, or grab one randomly? Throw them up in the air? What would you do with them?
Well, you know, some people will actually take the 55 cards and they'll just lay them out and then they'll pick one up. When I use them, I will shuffle them and I'll just keep on shuffling and they jump. And there's one card in that deck that when I see it, I know it's done, that reading is finished. So other people will actually just shuffle them, and then they will cut the deck, and then lay out the first three or whatever they want to lay out. So it just depends on what you are drawn to do. There's no right way or wrong way. It's just different people have different ways they like to work with the cards. But I know other people who they say when they work with these cards, it jumps as well. So, it actually, the cards will actually pop when you're shuffling it. It'll just fly out of the deck. And then how I use it then is I'll look at it. And for these ones in particular, when I use this deck, it will be what energies, I could ask a question, what energies do I need for today? What energies would be good for me to have, right?
Right.
Which cards would be useful for me to take with me today could be another one, because I also have wallet cards which are laminated in my studio, and people pick those up. I had one person who picked up the whole set of the wallet cards for the sales part because he's in the financial area, and he says they bring him money. So he will give away the cards to people he wants to help because he says he makes money when he has the cards on him. So he carries them in his wallet. So there's different ways of using them. And they're also a good reminder as to what you might be missing in your relationship, in your sales effort. If you just shuffle, is there anything I'm missing out of this series? Because if you're missing the grow together, then your question would be, okay, what could I do so that we come together more closely? Is there an activity we used to like to do that when the kids were growing up we got away from, and now it's time that we could get together and do that again? Because memories of the past actually get rekindled when you go back to it.
Right.
So if it is that when you shuffle it, congruent goals jumps out at you, it could be, well, oh, that's right, we have grown apart, our goals aren't the same anymore, but we are the same people. Maybe we just need to pull back in and see how we want to massage what it is we're doing so we get back on track together again. And then the question is, do you want that relationship to continue, or is it time? Those questions come up all the time. It's not always ideally the way it started out to be together, right? Sometimes there's change and shift and you have to go with the flow. But it's always a heart question, not a HARD, HEART. So it's a question that we would ask of ourselves, connecting to our heart, and then asking that question. And it even goes into for relationships at work. Are we aligned? Is there congruence? Is there alignment between how I like to work and how the company works? Do I like to help people, but there's not really that same feeling in the company because it's all about getting the cash, bringing in the money and not really caring about too much about what else happens. That's out there, right? So is what you're doing aligned to what it is, who it is you are? And if you're feeling disconnected, maybe that is some of what's going on. So in the relationship side of things, that's what came to me today to share on the show, as well as relationships to me are key in everything that we do, because without people to help us to get to our goals, or to help to get to their goals, if you're a coach or you have an expertise that people depend on you for example, with you, Jeremy, you're helping people to streamline their and scale their businesses by automating some of their processes. So if you are not relating properly, then it hampers your ability to move forward in your business and in your life and in being happy at what you're doing.
Right.
And And the other thing with relationships too is if you're not happy, that can actually undermine your health, because a lot of afflictions, a lot of illnesses, a lot of times when our immune system goes down the hill and we start catching all these colds or flus or whatever is out there, or get into a depression, it's a lot of times it's about relationships that are not working, that frustrate and stress and all that. And the question is now, how can you get through that? And if you can start to understand how everything ties together, it's all a system, it's all a process. One thing leads to a feeling, which then leads to an emotion, which then leads to a response and reaction, and then leads you into all sorts of stuff. And if you can catch the pattern and start to decide how you want to start to react to whatever that stimulus is or that situation is, then you can start to shift and change and then get a different result or outcome, or feel a different thing in your space by actually changing things so you are happier where you're at. Does that make sense, Jeremy? Did I lose? Am I making sense?
A little bit, yeah.
Because sometimes I go in and out, right? And yes, so that's kind of what I was thinking in terms of that whole thing about relationships, is taking a look within, looking at these 10 different, I call them the line of truth. So in other words, there's 10 lines of truth that when you get there, you're going to have beautiful relationships. So, or can you ask yourself truthfully how well you're doing on those cards, the caption under each of those cards? For loving connections, how good are you at that? Is it a 0, 1 to 10 on that scale? How do you rate in your work with loving connections at work, with loving connections with your kids, with your spouse, and so forth? And then you honestly answer that question, then you can see how you can, maybe there's choices you can then make. You can identify actions that you can take along those lines, because I guarantee you that when those 10 items are all high, you're going to have really good relationships in your life. And it's hard to, what I can do is I could put it on the on the episode and just list them out, and then you can be able to picture that more easily if you visit the sparkleexperienceshow.com and look at the past episodes. I'll put it there, and I'll put it on the website too. So you can go on the YouTube channel, or you can go on the website and you'll be able to see those. And, you can use that to assess and see how you can, if you're having issues, you can see, ask yourself that question, where am I on these 10 things? Is there anything? What is it? Not is there? What is it that I could do differently? Not even better. What could I do differently? And where could I put some effort if I really want to get this particular relationship, enhance it or build it up or save it? That's one of the actions you can take yourself on that. And for the tech side of this, I was thinking, Jeremy, that, sometimes we get busy, and in terms of the business sense, we want to keep connection with our clients,
Right.
our prospects, and our people who we connected with